everyone, and welcome to Lingerie Lowdown, the podcast. I'm Jim Williams, your host, and we are going to, over the coming weeks, months, and hopefully even years, educate, enlighten, and entertain you as we do a deep dive each week into the multi-billion-dollar world of one of the fastest-growing areas of the fashion industry. Of course, we are talking about lingerie. Now, through Lingerie Lowdown, the website, which you can find at lingerielowdown.com, and our YouTube channel, you have seen the women and men who review the thousands of different items from the world of lingerie and other fashions. Well, on the podcast, we are going to get to know those presenters who come from all corners of the globe. They are a very diverse and inclusive group. They're models who represent all body types and give honest reviews of every item that they try on. Now, we are also going to meet industry insiders who represent some of the top fashion houses in the entire industry, plus introduce you to some of the top cutting-edge designers and the smaller brands that are making names for themselves each and every day as they push forward in the fashion industry. So today, folks, is a treat. Normally I speak to one person, but that is such not the case today. No, I am blessed. This time around, I have Sarah Wilde, the managing director, and Rebecca Flath, the public relations manager from the tightspot.com, the global website for all things hosiery and bodysuits. It's one of the most fashion-forward sites anywhere. And ladies, I welcome you to Lingerie Lowdown, the podcast. Talk to me, if you will, about your wonderful website, the tightspot.com.
Sarah speaking. Hi, Sarah. Basically, the Tight Spot was launched in 2011 in the United Kingdom, just with myself and one other person, with about 200 hosiery products. To date, we have 8 females working within the company, and we sell over 3,000 different styles of hosiery. So it has obviously grown substantially, and we're purely specializing in hosiery items like stockings, tights, hold-ups, leggings. One interesting fact, when we started, the first order that was placed was a pair of Union Jack pattern tights, delivery Australia, which was really surprising. Because we were thinking, oh yeah, UK's our marketplace. And our first order was, we couldn't get much further away.
No, I mean, but that speaks to the type of world that we live in now. I mean, there isn't really a boundary.
No boundaries at all. And from that day on, we were thinking global. So in hindsight, it was quite a good thing. That we really thought, actually, this is quite unexpected, and our whole focus has been global, particularly the United States, actually, which is our biggest market.
It's funny. What are some of the fashion trends that you've seen in the hosiery business in the past couple of years that that people need to be aware of?
Well, the fashion, Sarah speaking,
Okay.
The fashion trends obviously changed through over the years. When we first started, a big trend was the mock suspender tights. So it was a take on a stocking suspender, but it was actually in the form of a tight. And that went on for about four years. That trend has been really, really popular, which is now seems to be tailing off now as we're going on. Each autumn, winter, there's different sort of trends that come along, particularly following the fashion weeks around the world in February. We look at the actual fashion weeks in Paris and the New York and the UK, and we're looking for the amount of tights that are being shown, what styles they are. And that helps and guides us on our choices that we make for our autumn-winter collection when we're purchasing from our manufacturers and brands.
So right now would be the time after, the major fashion weeks that you'd be starting to lay things out for 2019, no?
Yep. Yeah, absolutely. There's a lot of animal print, a lot more comfortable, seamless hosiery styles on the market coming out. There's a lot of sort of sexy designs for the autumn winter fashion. Colors, some new vibrant colors like rust and yellow and orange. Quite a bit of tartan. Very wearable tartan, actually. The tartan tights are very wearable. Some of the high fashion styles, you have to be a bit daring with some of them. It depends, obviously, on how you wear your hosiery, really.
Rebecca speaking, just to add to Sarah's point with the current trends, obviously there's all those new styles and patterns coming in, and there's pastel colours and bold colours. We also see a lot of floral designs as well. But you still get the staple designs, which are always there. The classics like sheer black tights, black opaques, and seamed tights. So they are always a winner for our customer, and you constantly see them on the catwalk as well.
It's funny, just about every one of our presenters at one point in time have said that they are, and these are folks who obviously do this for a living, but they're saying that they never leave home without a backup pair of stockings or tights, just so they can throw them in the bag in case something goes wrong during the course of the day with the ones they're wearing.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Especially with the thin sheer tights or hold-ups, the stay-up. It's always handy to take a third leg out in your handbag, just in case one rolls down.
I'm sorry, it's funny when you said take a third leg out. I'm like, okay, well that's an interesting visual right there.
Rebecca speaking. Yes, the good thing about the tight spot is we do a lot of promotions, and there's 3 for 2s on products, so you can luckily have those extra pairs at sometimes a lower cost to your wardrobe collection, so that when you are traveling out with extra tights or hold-ups, it's not costing you too much more.
Lingerie Lowdown, the podcast. We'll be back right after these words from BMW, the i3, the ultimate electric driving machine.
Life is about making decisions. At BMW i, we decided it was time to reinvent the car from the ground up, making sure we were open for truly innovative ideas. We decided that the car we wanted must be electric, and it should be made of extremely light and super strong carbon fiber. And finally, we decided to make it more intelligent and added our promise of incomparable driving pleasure. We made all these decisions to offer you a choice. The all-electric BMW i3.
Lingerie Lowdown continues. There seems to be a trend, fashion-wise, that the holdups seem to have made a kind of a rebirth, if you will. Is that something that you all are seeing as well?
Most definitely. And the thing with the holdups, and I think you guys over the pond call them thigh highs, is that they're much more durable now, and the silicone that's used makes sure that they stay up. I think not too many years ago, that people used to be rather skeptical about purchasing holdups because they'd think they'd fall down. The brands now that are doing the holdups are putting a lot more technical research into them, and generally speaking, 90% of the styles we sell now stay up very, very well.
Well, you would think that if we could send someone to the moon, we could figure out a way to keep holdups.
Exactly. This is true. Or did they actually go to the moon? This is the question.
Okay, well, I don't want to get into that part of it because we could be here for a couple of years. But, it is funny, though, when you talk about that. Did an interview last week, and one of the presenters I said, what is your biggest gripe about hosiery? And they said, the infamous baggy crotch. that for some reason they get the fit. It's supposed to be, the size is supposed to be right. When they pull it up, it just doesn't stay. How do you combat that?
Sarah speaking. You can purchase crotchless tights, and then you've resolved that issue already because there's no crotch.
That's a good way of going it, yeah.
Yeah, joking aside, the brands that often if it's the crotch area is baggy, then those tights are probably too small for you. It's more likely to be a sizing issue than a sort of baggy crotch. And the other thing is that because we do sell, obviously, brands that have been manufactured for many years, a lot of the brands that we sell, it's unlikely that you'll find, if you've got the right size, that you would have sort of a baggy crotch area. A lot of the cheaper supermarket types are more likely to be subject to that problem.
One of the things that has been really prevalent on with the presenters and the folks that I've been talking to is their absolute love, and I'm talking to many, many people now, of the return in style and talking about high style of the bodysuit.
Oh, yes, very much so. And as you can see on the tight spot, we sell quite a lot of bodysuits, and that area we're expanding in substantially over the coming 12 months.
It's funny, they go from casual all the way up to high fashion.
Yeah, absolutely. And most of the hosiery manufacturers are actually diversifying into bodysuit because a lot of the materials are the same as thick hosiery.
Rebecca speaking, you often see a lot of celebrities wearing bodysuits, and that's probably expanded that area of the market because of that reason. But like Sarah said, the materials are already there and they're really comfortable to wear. You can layer them up and down with your clothes. There's so many different ways you can style them, and it does fit well with hosiery store.
And they're so comfortable, actually, very comfortable. And a lot of the styles we have go up to triple XL.
If you guys, I'm sorry, go ahead.
So comfort-wise, bodysuit. In fact, I've got one on today. So there you go. I'm very comfortable.
I'll be happy to take your word for it. So one of the things I think is fascinating, since you guys are experts here, give us a few of your insights into, what should be in everybody's wardrobe. Some real key points that you need to put into your wardrobe.
I would say a really lovely pair of satin 80 denier opaque tights. And I would spend a bit of money on those because if you purchase a pair from, say, our Walford range that may cost you £30, they can actually end up lasting you a whole season. They wash extremely well, and it's a much more cost-effective way of buying hosiery rather than sort of the cheaper supermarket styles, and your legs just look fabulous. I would say a sheer pair of a natural leg colour is really important for those, for dressers. Ankle socks, so your little knee highs and your ankle highs. So when you're wearing trousers, you've got a smooth, flush look from the bottom of the trouser to your shoe. And a good bodysuit to go along with that. And if you're adventurous and you like all the fashion styles that can actually enhance any outfit, then a few pairs of the fashion autumn-winter styles can brighten up any wardrobe.
Very cool. So you both concur on that one, huh?
Yes, definitely. I mean, in terms of the fashion styles, I think you constantly always see fishnets, seeing some patterns like polka dot. So even if you purchase those now and they were, good medium to luxury value brand, then they're going to last you. And as well as lasting you, they'll probably still be in fashion within the next, 2 years going onwards potentially. So there's so many things you can do with hosiery to style up your wardrobe, and some of them are always in fashion.
How important, ladies, is it to understand the importance of denier and the different types?
Very important, actually. And I was surprised when I started how much information and that our customers had about hosiery. So it was really interesting, the questions that they were asking us and the information that they wanted, which made us look at our glossary in much more finer detail to make sure that we were giving them as much information as possible with regards to denier, the type of toes, the type of gusset, and the type of waistband, and the finish, whether it's shiny or matte. But particularly the denier is obviously, when you're looking for a pair of tights, it's often, if it's for summer, obviously, then you've got a 10 to 30 denier. And if it's winter, you're sort of looking for a 50 to a 200 denier.
The good thing about shopping with us online is that we've got this kind of glossary, and we're always at the end of the phone or on email if customers have questions, particularly around denier, where you won't get that when you go into a shop and you're just looking at a wall of tights and you haven't really got a clue what you're doing. So not everybody is a fashionista or knows about tights. So we try to make our website as user-friendly, customer-friendly as possible in that way.
Actually, it's a very impressive website. I've been out there, and I will say that you've got tremendous amount of information. Even for someone like myself who knows very little, I can very easily find all types of information right there. So you do have an outstanding and very navigable site for people.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
No problem.
And we've also got a section that's set up for occasion as well, which is work, party, and romance. So you can shop by the kind of event or evening out, etc.
There you go. Okay, now, how can we follow you on social media?
Oh, well, we love posting on social media, and we also have a lot of Instagrammers that love to style our looks. So we're on all the most popular channels: Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest.
Okay, So here's an opportunity to tell us about your website and any promotions you might want to talk about.
Thank you. For American customers, which is 50% of our sales, we offer a huge range of European styles, which we believe are quite difficult to get hold of in the United States at a very, very reasonable price. We offer free shipping to America. We have promotions every week offering our customers discounts that have been supported by the brands to us. And if you follow us on our social media, you will be able to receive these promotions instantly. We have an excellent customer service department who can get back to you if you've got any questions regarding your purchase. And we have a huge selection of plus size hosiery as well, which is extremely difficult to get on the high street. And the web address is www.thetightspot.com. I think it's important for anybody shopping on the Tight Spot to just have a little look at the reviews that our customers are giving us.
Okay.
As well, because that obviously paints the picture of the business and how conscientious we are to making sure that every customer's experience is a good one. And hopefully our reviews shout that across.
Okay.
We have just recently become a Walford preferred global retail partner, which is the Walford are obviously the most luxurious,
right? The gold standard,
in the world. So to actually be given this accolade We're really, really pleased with that. And hopefully that also qualifies us to a degree of being obviously strong in our expertise when it comes to hosiery garments.
Do you see that there's any fashion differences between what goes on in Europe and in the United States?
Oh, this is interesting, actually. We do sell a lot of shiny, really glossy types to our American customers. I think, they love the glossy pantyhose look, definitely, which is quite old. Well, I wouldn't say old-fashioned, more retro, actually, I would say. And, and they can be a little bit kinky, too.
No, you know what? It took us a long time to break away from the Victorian situation. So, we've everything old is new again here. So even if you go back in time, but I was always fascinated by that because certainly from men's standpoint, there's men's styles that in Europe and the United States do not translate at times. So I've noticed in suits and ties and everything that I've purchased, there's a little bit of a different style that goes to it. So
I think our American customers, what they've told us why they shop on the site is really because of the extensive range and diversity and things that they can try that they've never seen before.
Well, I think that you're right. I think that there's a lot of things looking on your site that give people an opportunity to really be adventurous, if that's a better way of putting it than I had before.
Yeah, and obviously any of our customers, when they receive the garments, can return them free of charge wherever they live in the world.
Special thanks to our guests, Sarah Wilde, the Managing Director, and Rebecca Flath, Public Relations Manager from thetightspot.com, the global website for all things hosiery and bodysuits. By all means, check them out. We'll leave the information in the show box below. We'll be back with more of Lingerie Lowdown, the podcast, right after this from BMW. The i3, the ultimate electric driving machine.
Life is about making decisions. At BMW i, we decided it was time to reinvent the car from the ground up, making sure we were open for truly innovative ideas. We decided that the car we wanted must be electric, and it should be made of extremely light and super strong carbon fiber. And finally, we decided to make it more intelligent and added our promise of incomparable driving pleasure. We made all these decisions to offer you a choice. The all-electric BMW i3.
Welcome back, everybody. Now, if you're not one of the over 10,000 people who have subscribed to the podcast, first of all, shame on you. Second of all, we certainly do make it simple. It is free. You can find us at the iTunes store because we are happy to be part of the Apple Podcast family. Same thing. If you've got an Android, go over to the Google Play Store because we're happy to be part of the Google Podcast family as well. You can find us on Spreaker, Stitcher, Spotify, as well as TuneIn, iHeartRadio, and YouTube, to name a few. Now, if you can't seem to find us, all you have to do is pull out the old Google machine, type in Lingerie Lowdown, the podcast, hit the favorite button or the subscribe button, and every 2 weeks you'll get a brand new edition of the podcast sent directly to your tablet, your phone, or hopefully to both, okay? Now, if you have an assistant device like Alexa or the Google machines or possibly the Apple group, which of course is Siri, all you have to do is say, hey, Alexa or Siri or Google, please play the latest edition of Lingerie Lowdown, the podcast, and they'll do it for you. So, folks, we cannot make it any easier to subscribe to Lingerie Lowdown, the podcast. So please go out there and do it for us today. Okay? Well, thanks so much. Speaking of thanks, we'd like to thank Sarah Wilde, the Managing Director, and Rebecca Flath, the Public Relations Manager from thetightspot.com, the global website for all things hosiery and bodysuits. Okay? Check them out at thetightspot.com. All the information is in the show box below. Now, before we get out of here, We want to thank you for listening to this edition of Lingerie Lowdown, the podcast today. Now, if you're not a member of our website, which of course is LingerieLowdown.com, that's LingerieLowdown.com, we want to welcome you to our team, all right? So we're offering you listeners a 10% discount on our 6 and 12-month membership plans. All you have to do is enter the coupon code TIGHTPOD, that's TIGHTPOD, when prompted, and you're going to receive 10% off the pricing for joining a 12 or a 6-month subscription. Now, I got to tell you, this website is chock full of outstanding reviews from some of the best presenters you're going to find anywhere. They're knowledgeable. They really understand every aspect of lingerie and all the thousands of other types of items that are featured here on Lingerie Lowdown. It's a great gift. It's wonderful for couples. If you're a boyfriend, girlfriend, husband and wife, or just wants, to look at lingerie on your own, no problem. Great place, LingerieLowdown.com. And we're offering you 10% discount on our 6 and 12-month memberships. All you have to do is enter the coupon code TIGHTPOD when prompted. Get the 10% off anytime you want to join for the 6 or 12-month subscription. Okay? So by all means, join it. Be members. You're going to love it. So thanks to everyone who helped put the podcast together today. From all the team here at Lingerie Lowdown, I'm Jim Williams. Thank you for joining us on this edition. We'll see you in a fortnight.